Zannied out. You're not thinking about it. Oh no, never mind. Never mind. No. He had bandages. I'm wrong. Never mind. He's fine. He's fine. I'm like the water. I would still drink the water, then bandage, because then you're at 100 and you just go right back in. I saw 100 health there. He didn't. Maybe I'm better than some of these people. I don't know. I'm not better at shooting than them, or like close encounters or doming people and shit. But I'm better at the game, I think.
HP running. Row of guns. That is an epic rust moment. Alright, I gotta make a move. I'm honestly thinking maybe I'll just take everything in this base and just run. Go to my shack and build base. I mean, I can't live on this little peninsula. There's no way. And these guys are gonna find me very soon, I bet. Who says spooked it only farms?
Yeah, if you're thinking query asshole, they're thinking query asshole. And that's something I learned very, very young, at like 1,000 hours. If you think you're the cleverest motherfucker on the server with some play that nobody's ever thought of before, that's where all the sweatiest people are. It's just inevitable. And so, like, don't get it twisted. Like you think you get, you know, query by sulfur query by excavator. No, then every sweat on the fucking server is gonna be there if you're thinking that. I learned that a long time ago.
Aggro.
Like, if you're thinking that you have an edge, everybody else thinks they have an edge. Trust me, it's just how the world works. So if you think that you're the first guy, nope, it's more about how do you deal with those people who are competing with you. Now this could be death. I don't know. Nope. Yeah. At least he's not casting on me. It was only an evasion spell. I could maybe sprint it. This guy hurts. Oh no. Nope, I didn't have to use it. Nice. Could always vanish or blind or any of it. I have to buy better food now, or fish it up, more likely. God, it slows down. I forgot how slow this is. It's like Final Fantasy XI. It's fucking slow, Classic. I love Classic, actually. It's got that pacing. Alright, let's go fight that Skelly again, but I need to protect. I love 11 hardcore. I think it's simple and awesome. It doesn't require me to do... I mean, it requires me to do things, but it doesn't really require me to think very much. It's awesome. It's kind of like EvE. You just fire off and forget.
Increased. Cloth.
Gotta get out of here before I aggro something else. I need that dig rat. I can't aggro 3 of the road, or I'll die. Oh. I'm in a bad situation. I'm going to get a spawn here that's going to kill me. I must get out, like, now. I will come back when my evasion's up and I can't die.
Pauldrons. You loot 77 copper.
You know, I wonder if I can go to the other zone now and not have fireworks and turn the sound up. Because I'm level 12. I think I can. Oh, no. What did I aggro? Oh, no. It's an amethyst. I better kill him. It's okay. I've got the resources. It's Gucci. Yeah. Good. The para's good. He didn't... Oh, he resisted, though. I didn't land either. Fire again. Fire again. I'll get
Your
this
skill
one.
has...
Yeah, I'm probably fine. Land the D and then we'll cast. Yep. And then start the rounds of cures early. Yep.
Your skill has increased.
Okay, how's the evasion? 10 seconds. Good, good. How are we on dig rat? We're like halfway, but getting a dig rat is so annoying. Now, I dug into that dig rat, and I kind of need it, so I'm going to go get it. Yeah, that guy. I mean, it's hard. Getting to that rat is fucking hard. It's so annoying.
Your skill has increased.
But we will. We'll get to the rat. We'll drop a corpse, and then we'll get to him. Oh, I leveled. I'm 13 now. Yay. Very good. Okay, stop. And then what do we do now? We're going east to try and go zone. Because I'm hoping like North Goosterberg doesn't have fireworks. Oh, oh. Ooh. If I wanted the dig rat, I could sap that guy, kill him, and take it. Or, well, really, I think it's that guy, actually. I don't know. See, it's death, kind of. I don't know. This is death, kind of. These are rangers, kind of. Which is what's so scary about it.
Aggro.
God damn it. Can't aggro. Don't run. Oh, God.
You've been examined.
65 copper.
Oh, now. Oh, yeah, I'm running on a rock. Oh, that's a Kadav. Gotta be careful because I could lose both hardcore characters right here. See it? Oh, God. This quest sucks. There.
Aggro.
Kill him. Oh, God.
Rat.
No. I better run. Fuck this. Yep, that was good. When I get of range and the dot's off me, I can vanish. Did I get the dig rat? I did. I got the dig rat. Hey, I didn't die. I didn't even drop to 50. Yeah, it's good shit. Good shit. Whew. See, this is a bad quest. It could get me killed, definitely. But I mean, I don't know. It's fine. I'll get through it. I just kind of rushed to the dig rat. I can get other easier dig rats now. I only need like 3 of them, and if you hang around killing these for a while, you'll get 3. You know, I'm rushing into that one that's deep and trying to evasion and vanish my way out of it, and that's a terrible, terrible premise. Going to die doing that. Oh my God! If I go to North Goosterberg, will the fireworks stop? Please. Please, please, please. I'll have to go home. God damn it. I don't have, like, the outpost here because I didn't go get it. I don't really know how important that was. No fireworks. Damn it. They're still here. Wow, why are all these people here? You know? Well, we're at a zone, so these Liz, there's no aggro here. There's skeleton, I guess. Let's kill the skeleton. He's level 4. Yeah, he's weak. Let's kill him. Yay, para opening. It's good. 50 seconds on evasion and blind. Or, sorry, yep. Gotta remember that I have a blind and I can use it if I need to. Gotta remember.
Your skill has increased.
See, there's the dig rat again, and I've got it. I guess the idea is to Hagen Stone Whisker. He's a rare, is he? Yeah, he's a rare. All right, well let's pull him.
Aggro.
That's not too good. Didn't know he was a ranger. So yeah, well, okay, I'll kill him, but I've got to get all the link done. Starting with you. Oh, look how bad you come over. Oh my god, you're annoying. Well, time to die.
You need 67 copper.
Aggro.
I missed. I think I missed, yeah.
You need 65 copper.
Aggro.
You receive loot. Linen floss 3. You need 72 copper. You receive loot. Small pocket watch.
Aggro.
You need 67 copper. You need 67 copper.
Hey, here we go. Got a sap to sasshole in the back. I want that dig rat. And I think I can get it right here too. Look. I'll sap him and just take the dig rat.
Aggro.
Yep.
You receive loot. Dig rat.
What do you mean missed? His back was turned.
You receive loot. Wool cloth 2. You need 59 copper. You need 33 copper. You receive loot.
Bad
30
storm
copper.
tonight.
You need 48 copper.
It's a shame it's a caster belt. Go for that other dig rat and try to get out of here. Oh, I need a foreman and I need a journal, I guess. Where's the journal at? Oh, it's all the way in the back? Oh, okay, so I have to go deeper in anyways, I guess, yeah. That's okay, I guess. I need an assured exit scenario. I believe this place is sort of like death, kind of, and while I like this place, I don't think it's necessarily very, very wise. That pat will get me wasted. I'll have to address him.
Aggro.
You receive loot. Wool cloth.
I played it well. I didn't even have to use any. I didn't even have to use any cooldowns or anything. Stressful though. Definitely stressful, and I'm definitely in a rush, and it's stupid. I shouldn't be in a rush. There's really no reason to be in a rush. I can go back there and I can stealth the last bit and all that.
receive loot. Linen cloths 2. You loot 83 copper.
I'm gonna log. We'll focus on other things here for a minute. Oops. Oh, scout. Go to the field.
Warp drive active.
Nodes. Who said that? Who said that? I want to talk to you, okay? I want to talk to that guy.
I'm gonna go pee.
Came here with a DB. Come on, man. Alright, I gotta figure something out. I gotta pee, though. I'm gonna pee and then I'm gonna figure something out. Sounds like these guys are getting C4 right. Maybe it's not that. Oh, maybe they're doing my TC. I think that's what they're doing. This might be the perfect time to get out of here, actually. Oh yeah, 2 C4 and a satchel. Although my TC wasn't even...
2 C4 and a satchel? Okay. Yeah, at least it's daytime and there's no fireworks.
Your skill has increased.
62% still. I guess I'll write a banish macro so I can actually use it at will. Or, well, I guess it would actually be...
Your skill has increased.
Blocked. These fucking boneheads probably didn't even
Your
realize
skill
that.
has
I'm gonna go
increased.
start a new.
This is fun, but I don't want to do this video. It's way too long and it's bloated. But he's a good gamer. I like him, you know. Oh, June the King did Darkside Phil.
Darkside Phil is a game creator and former fighting game aficionado that has existed in the online realm for over 2 decades. He has participated in the inception of Let's Plays, but has hardly evolved alongside them. Where most creators benefit from their window of fame, Phil, through insane spending habits, has almost nothing to show for it. It was only in 2020 that he filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy, where the documents revealed his situation being even more insane than previously thought. Due to his off-putting nature in that he will belittle his audience members while simultaneously petitioning them for donations.
I need the money to pay bills, and I need the money to do regular day-to-day shit.
Lie about his finances and inaccurately portray criticisms against him, he has few allies left. Content creators, large, small, new, and old, avoid him due to this and the unique community of trolls that follow him. Varying widely in intentions and actions, these trolls share the commonality of hating Phil and archiving his fumbles to great lengths. There exists a spreadsheet that is updated almost daily that tracks nearly every donation, the top donator, when the stream began, and what game was played. That's not all. There are several search engines designed to search his over 70,000 videos that even have options to show the trend of word usage. And of course, a forum with over 280,000 posts discussing him, not including side threads that would greatly inflate that number. While Phil is covered to great lengths, information is hardly ever centralized or easily consumed, prompting the creation of reasonably shorter videos dissecting different elements of his life. This video, perhaps unreasonably so, will attempt to tackle it all.
アメリカ太平洋岸の港湾都市サンフランシスコ。この地に日本チャンピオンが上陸した。
To the US population at large, November 8, 1998 was a normal day. For the 20-year-old Alex Valle, the American fighting game champion, it was anything but. For the first time ever, the fledgling American fighting game scene was going head-to-head with the somewhat matured Japanese scene that had more financial backing, production and the coverage, and tempering than the Americans. The Japanese champion, Valle's opposition, was the 16-year-old Daigo, who had flown out from Japan to make history. The game, Street Fighter III Alpha, was the medium. This could go any way, though the Japanese had the perceived advantage. That's why Valle's victory in the first match intensified the competition. As the match rules were best 2 out of 3, Valle had to win one more match to be crowned world champion, and so Valle continued his aggressive strategy and tried to put pressure on Daigo. Daigo, however, began adapting and started finding openings, anticipating Valle's attacks. Adaptation was never as important as it was here in the finals. Both sides were exposed to strategies they have never been exposed to within their local competitive scenes. With the advantage on Daigo's court, he won the second match. At this point, the outcome was hardly predictable, as both sides were solidifying their strategies. Daigo had won and become the world champion of the fighting game community, projecting Japan's strength and their competitors as fierce. It was historical moments such as these that emboldened new players to join the competitive environment that had only seen growth. Realistically, the only way one could compete is to join their local arcade scene, if they offered a competitive environment at all. While online play was non-existent, the internet did tend to the community by allowing a quick, cheap, accessible way to promote local or grand-scale events. One of these involved an 18-year-old Phil Burnell. Initially entering the online space with the alias Whoa Moses, he adapted other, short-lived nicknames such as Phil Throw Like Hell Burnell, labeled as such for his strategy of using the throw move in Marvel vs. Capcom competitions that was viewed as unbalanced. Quote, everybody said that my victory was so quote-unquote cheap, and that I had no skill, unquote. Regardless, Phil was performing well in his local gaming scene in Bridgeport, Connecticut. The next natural step was to attend ECC, or East Coast Championships, that hosted various fighting game competitions. Add to that, he said he would attempt to go. Phil had experience attained through many years spent visiting his local arcades, an experience that would otherwise be described as a tourist pastime. The elitist nature and other unfavorable qualities that Phil was showing were more acceptable in these communities than they would be in others. And he did have that one thing that made him memorable: his aggression. Quote, I see it every day in my town. These little fucking wimps who call themselves quote-unquote thugs and pretend they're quote-unquote tough mofos. Well, if I ever get into a fight with one of them, hand-to-hand, I guarantee you I'll be the one standing afterwards. And if they pull a gun on me, I hope they have pretty good aim, because if they don't hit me with the first shot, I'll have already punctured the windpipe and ended their life. Unquote. This was in response to the general aggression Phil received when utilizing his infamous throw tactics. Phil's response teeters from excessive to entirely
Your skill has increased.
What the fuck did that even mean? What did that mean? What a fucking psycho. How do these people get famous? It's just crazy. I swear to God, they view bot. I think this all these weird, dumb people that don't truly have good personalities and don't really have like redeemable qualities beyond their video game skills. Like, I swear to God, I think for like 10 years they were all view botting, and so then they all got famous for no reason, just because everybody believed for some reason that they were that fucking successful. But no, the Chinese view botters were selling them view bots. I think it's so weird people like Darkside Phil like suddenly blew up that shouldn't have, or like, you know, I swear they all do it. I think Daniel Larson did it. I think all these weird twisted people, fucking Wings of Redemption, all those people.
Warp drive active.
Aggro.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Oh, he sunders. I was like, what is that? Oh, it's Sunder. He's sundered armored. I was like, what is it that he's doing? Gotta get to that rat, but I don't know. That fucking one single dig rat is so fucking annoying.
You receive loot. Battered junk box.
Aggro.
You loot 44 copper.
God damn it.
You receive loot. Will cost you. You lose 15 copper.
I want another rat, just so I can like get towards it. I want to kill the rat and then just loot him, gouge whoever aggroes, and run, I guess. Although I don't know, it's stupid to do stupid risky stuff like this. It is, but here, watch.
Aggro.
Got him.
You receive loot. Dig rat.
Yep. Now you. Oh. Young Kadav, he's level 6. He's probably the best skill up around here, honestly. Because he's the chunkiest boy in the zone. Sort of. No, maybe that goblin is, actually.
Your skill has increased.
That Weaver is actually a fucking chunky motherfucker. I gotta be very careful about him. But he's a good target, though, because he'll suicide. Weaver might be a pretty good camp.
Your skill has increased.
I didn't land the paralysis, but that's okay. I'm just stomping him in. This hammer does so much damage. This hammer does more damage than melee does, kind of. It's insane. It's the banish. I love banish. Actually, I won't lie. I love banish. I got divine skill up off it too. So, what now? What about that crab? He's level 5 EP. And he's probably chunky. Let's see. Let's see. We'll fight him. Gotta pay attention, though.
Warp drive active.
Oh, I didn't get the banish off. Banish the crab. Miss. Oh, he didn't miss.
Your skill has increased.
Yeah, shield skill. Die, crab. That hornet is level 6 EZP. Let's do some heals and then sit down. I should stay away from the goblin. What's the goblin? The goblin is level 3. Let's kill him. Just because his loot's good. And he's easy to kill. He's like, oh no, I've got Paralyze and Dia.
Your skill has increased.
Down you go. I want to sit down. It's fine. Okay, we go out to the Bez approach. Approach reconvene.
as a macho, hardened, threatening individual. And that's why he chose his new name, Dark Side, which was directly influenced by the song Dark Side from the band Crazy Town. The reason for the Y in his name in place of the I is
Dark side, diggy diggy, dark side, diggy diggy, dark side, diggy diggy. It's not inspired by Crazy Town. It's inspired by motherfucking ICP, and he doesn't want the world to know. It's an ICP reference. It's a lot of things. It's Crazy Town and ICP and methamphetamine. If you've never been there, you wouldn't know.
readers thinking that his name was anyway
not just
attached to the Star Wars
methamphetamine,
universe.
lots of drugs. Crazy Town and Crazy Town and ICP are known for doing all them drugs. You know what I'm saying? Me too. And so I know the reference, but I know it a lot better than this idiot.
As that would be too nerdy. Phil provides
I'm sorry, this guy's not an idiot. Just, you know, it's funny that he doesn't know the reference. He misquoted.
other reasons for his demeanor, such as wanting to act as a heel in this developing space. A heel is someone, typically in wrestling, that is an inconsiderate or untrustworthy person, and due to their distasteful nature, the wrestling community actually enjoys matches with them, as getting trounced on is the ultimate satisfying outcome. And so Dark Side, as he was calling himself, was set on practicing and playing the newly released Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Though his palette was diverse,
That's a good game.
what his sights were set on. But there was an unforeseen issue. The game, released in February 2000, meant that it was untested and would not be at the East Coast Championship. Phil's solution was to make a tourney of his own, and make it 6 with a $5 entry fee. The results are unknown. What is that Phil was ingraining himself in his local community, and that he just graduated high school as the valedictorian. A valedictorian is the highest ranking student of a school's graduating class. The bestowment of such a title opened doors of opportunity. Ivy League colleges were in his purview, but he wasn't in theirs.
Yale rejected me. Harvard rejected me. There was
Women
3
reject
I can't
you.
remember what the third one was, but every Ivy League school that I applied to said no.
Echo.
You want to know why they rejected me? It's this simple. Because I'm a white male.
Where
Nope.
there is Phil Burnell,
Nope.
there are bound to be inconsistencies and lies. Here he states that it was because
No,
he
it's
was not
because
racially diverse
you're
enough
kind of
as a reason for not
swarmy
getting
and
in.
annoying.
Then later flips the excuse.
Just off of that premise,
You
it
feel
wasn't
little.
my extracurriculars,
Full clock.
it wasn't my academics, it was based off the
Fortune
fact that
copy.
I wasn't a rich white person.
No.
Another reason Phil provides for not getting in is that he signed up for financial aid, which he claims triggered an immediate rejection from the Ivy League schools. Whatever the case, his future had more potential than most. Throughout it all, he was still going to local tournaments. Here he recounts how the entrance for a local tournament doubled from 16 to 32 in
Echo.
just a
You
year.
receive
He
T-Rat.
won this tournament, and with that, he is losing his potential. To make it big in this flourishing environment, practicing the game would have to encompass his life for nearly the next decade. And to finance the traveling, he took out various credit cards as his job selling yogurt did not provide enough income.
Well, you go to EVO 2K4, the fighting game championship.
700 players from all over the world, Japan, Europe, North America, South America, all over, right?
There's insane competition in the fighting game community, especially from Japan nowadays, and it's like a, you know, who cares about the flash? You can leave the flash there. Make sure the gameplay is solid. No more stupid.
Aggro.
Those were moments from EVO 2004. EVO, or Evolution Championship Series, was becoming the end-all be-all for competitions in the fighting game community. Every year, the event grew. It grew rife with competition, controversy, diversity, and of course, increased attendance of Darkside Phil.
East Coast versus West Coast.
In this particular moment at EVO 2002, the infamous Darkside Phil was selected as a sort of representative of the East Coast theater. Commentary from the people recording demonstrated how welcome he was.
Woo! Close, but I did it.
As much as Phil promoted his
They've given me the tools to live. Kind of tense when you pull like 7 of them, but I got the I got the boss. I just haven't looted him, I don't think. Fucking annoying. Yeah, I was like, oh, I don't have the time to think about it. I can't go back in there either. Wait, Lord Cyric, oh yeah, I already killed him. So now, since I burned all my cooldowns, this is how you die if you go back in there like that. Well, no, but I need his body, though. I need his body. If I aggro, I'll die. I need his body, though. No, I'm gonna wait the 5 minutes. If the corpse disappears, so be it. I'll kill him again. It's not worth losing the run over. It's just not. I'm not going in there without my cooldown, so I'm not doing that. I just know what'll happen. I've seen it too many times. This quest is too current for me to be doing, kind of. But I mean, it paid well. Paid like half a level. Land crabs are good. And bees and stuff. And there's no aggro over here, really. Cluster shut down. Whack.
Has increased.
Oh good, body's still there. Cooldowns are up in 15 seconds. Can't aggro here. Everything's up, I can take the risk. If I loot, I will aggro. It's best to sap because there's a patrol. Should let the patrol go through, however. I don't want to lose the body, so I'm just going to take it.
Aggro.
Yeah, take the aggro.
You receive loot. Possible external.
This guy was... I crit this guy. No, it's my dagger. My dagger procced. And it just fucked him up. Yep.
You loot 47 copper.
Okay, so now... Got to get in there to the back to kill a foreman. That's this guy. Oh, the Pats are the foremans. I didn't know. I didn't even know to like kill them or whatever. So that guy, yeah, let's go kill him since he's out in the open and easy to kill. And the other Pat is fine to aggro, honestly. Oh, I don't know. It's starting to look sort of like risque again. A little bit. There's that foreman. He's coming out where I can get him. I'll distract him.
Aggro.
Oh. Uh-oh. Okay, we're good with one cooldown so far. And we got 2 foremans. Which is really good. No, you're not going to get it, buddy. I'm sorry. Oh, God. I didn't aggro the other one, did I? Nope.
You loot 15 copper.
No, sit down again. Okay, you sit down again.
Warp drive active.
You loot 87 copper.
Excavator. excavator. There's no more foreman in there. We don't have to do anything else in here except for foreman. Foreman, that's it. One last foreman. And I'm done with this place. And that's him. He's my guy. Gonna waste him and get this over with.
Aggro.
God damn it. Nope, no ore toss.
Docking permission requested.
Oh, you bastard. You bastard.
Docking
Unit 16
request
copper.
accepted.
I'm out of bandages, son of a bitch. What do you mean, miss?
Unit 38 copper.
You are so annoying. Do not fucking impede my progress in leaving. I am done with this hellacious place. Let me out of here. Wait, was there something else in there? Wait, the fear of the moons. Oh, all the way up there or something? Oh, wow, yeah, okay, so there is something else in there? The Fear of the Moons, but it's a level 30 quest. Feegly the Exiled. Well, yeah, but how the fuck do you get up over there? No, that's way over, like, that's like way over there. No, it's way over there. No, there was something back there. There's something back there. Feegly the Exiled. The Tear of the Moons. I don't think so. I don't think I'm going to mess with that right now. Fuck that. This place damn near killed me like 3 times. I'm not going back in there. Thank God that I didn't die that one time when the dot knocked me out of Vanish. That was really close. Without the Hunter, I might have actually bit it. I was lucky. I'm just going to disenchant this because getting disenchant mats is too difficult.
You receive loot. Sold USTX2.
I guess I could take a Hearthstone because it's fucking easier than doing... Well, no, I guess I have a turn-in, so never mind. Oh, I have 4 turn-ins. 4 turn-ins, so yeah, maybe I'll ding or at least get close, I think. It's good. Fucking stupid fireworks. I can't wait till I get away from them. What level's that Weaver? He's level 3. I still want to kill him because I think he dropped something really expensive. But I can't remember. It's a grass cloth, I think, and those vendor for like 500 gil or something.
Your skill has increased.
And down he goes.
Ability. When it came to EVO, the player base was at an entirely different level than he was used to. Losses here were common, and people did not take kindly to his hostility online, where he would physically threaten his opposition.
I was the guy who always talked shit. I was the guy who always was like, man, don't get in my face at a tournament. I will fuck you up. I will throw you in a trash can. I will, I used to do that.
But in person, that was a different story.
I mean, online, he would freaking, run his flap and post a lot, respond to everything, but when you see him at the tournaments, he just sits there, he's not doing nothing.
That was Jaha, one of the more hot-headed players that was not afraid of confrontation.
He was talking a bunch of shit against, like, the top Marvel players, so Shady K was one of them, and Shady K didn't like him too much because he would, like, run his mouth so much. I mean, this guy would make posts that were, like, a mile long. When DSP was leaving with, like, him and a couple of his boys, that's when it was time to, like, roll up on him. We followed them outside, and we caught him outside, and they were getting up in, like, DSP's fucking friends' faces too, just to fucking make sure none of them got crazy, but they were all fucking shitting bricks. He just turned fucking white, and it's funny because he just, like, talks so much shit on the internet, but when you run into him in fucking person...
When you run into the person, they're like, I'm scared of you. And it's like, what? You know what I'm saying? I I remember one time I got kicked awake by a kid at 5:30 in the fucking morning because he wanted me to guard him while he smoked meth in the fucking bathroom at Civic Center Park.
He was an infidel on these
1850.
May his death serve
Received
as a
15
warning
silver.
to all
One of the
those who
closer
threaten
times I ever
to
came to
serve.
hitting somebody.
Now let me take a moment to study the dwarf's journal.
But even then,
It is clear the
probation
prospector
or
depended
threat
on
of jail,
explosives and
nope.
those noisy vehicles to rip the ground
I used to
apart.
say to him, like,
We can
motherfucker, I have
expect
to
the new
lay you the
foreman to take over soon.
motherfucking
I
fuck
want to
out.
give
You
the dwarves
understand
a
me?
taste of their own medicine.
Like,
according to these plans, if we combine
and it's not talking a
nitroglycerin
big
with
one, you know,
wood
but
pulp and sodium
probation
nitrate, we can
or
create an
jail
explosive
time, one or the other.
charge. The rifleman, soldiers, and officers in
Don't
the
ever
keep are
fucking
known to
touch
have
me
the
again,
supplies.
you
Collect
know?
these items and bring them to me. I will fashion a charge that the dwarves won't forget.
If you're dealing with that, trying to sleep at 5:30 in the fucking morning at Civic Center fucking Park in Denver, across the street from the motherfucking Capitol building, you get kicked awake by some fucking tweaker who wants your protection, you know? And so in order to get your protection, he kicks you, you know? Hard, too. Kicked me pretty hard in my fucking legs. And I was like, what? And I was like, motherfucker, if you ever touch me again, understand, man, I'm not going to do anything to you because of fucking jail or fucking probation and jail. You know, I tell him right there. But if you ever touch me again, I'll take the jail. You understand? And like, so yeah, some kid on the not some kid, but like some fucking white nerd on the motherfucking internet. Behind that screen name, their life is pretty lame and pretty plain.
Fucking, turns white as a ghost.
DSP was able...
Like, they don't have the accolades. They don't have the friends.
To diffuse the situation by paying Shady K, Jaha's friend, $10. They arrived to that amount from a money match that was meant to go 10 rounds for a total of $100. But since it was cut short due to time limitations, and DSP only fought and lost a single match, Jaha and his crew were able to swindle those $10 that DSP had no obligation to pay. But even then, it was cheaper than a trip.
He wanted to smoke in the fucking porta potty, and he was on probation too. And he was like, you gotta watch, you gotta make sure a cop doesn't come in or something. I was like, alright, fine. Or anybody else, you can get robbed. All kinds of shit. Cops, robbers, same thing.
The hospital. As for the forums,
horses,
or the medium
pigs.
DSP would unleash his threats. Shoryuken.com, or SRK for short, is named after a popular move in Street Fighter. DSP continued to expand his character, adding the tagline, The King of Hate.
And the whole idea behind the King of Hate moniker was everyone hates me because I talk so much shit online, but no one can do anything about it because in person, I could hold up my end of the shit talking and win.
I understand that you got something you want to say about the DSP.
Nah, I don't got nothing to say about that little retard. Down syndrome Phil. Fuck that guy.
Oh yeah?
Now, in 2003, Phil's infamy grew to new heights after he was banned from the SRK forums. Even the smaller competitions he did win will not be received with commemoration.
It's actually really easy to get along with gamers. You just shut the fuck up and watch. That's it. That's all you gotta do. So you want to get along with gamers, shut the fuck up and watch what they're doing. That's it. That's all you have to do.
Pleasures at his victory was what appears to be Phil advertising his website known as TopHaters.com. Further investigation reveals that this website of Phil's creation was a response to TopPlayers.com, a West Coast-centered Street Fighter website. Looking further into it, this is not just a response to Top Players, but Phil's lashing out at his infamy. There is much to unpack through the multiple pages of this website. On this page alone, he challenges some of the fighting game culture he himself is guilty of. On the main page, he informs readers that he works at Circuit City. On this thread, he is hating on the mechanics of Guilty Gear, a different fighting game. His words and his culture do not resonate within the fighting game community. Even so, he petitioned for financial support, supposedly to run the website, while also complaining about the lack of users. Despite a clear lack of support, Phil went onward with a new project known as Impact. As TopHaters.com was Phil's answers to TopPlayers.com, Impact was Phil's answer to EVO. And even though Phil continued to attend, he sought to make his own large-scale event. Quote, "It's obvious that Impact is going to compete heavily with EVO," unquote. On the threads created by Phil to promote Impact that included fundraising, brainstorming ideas, and other items meant to trigger discussion, on average would have at most a single other response. That was also the only respondent to the majority of Phil's posts. Even threads discussing how much Phil sucked garnered more attention on his website than Impact. TopHaters.com was a failed project. DSP now espoused to this negativity will not use his character to his benefit. Instead, he used it to attack beloved franchises like Counter-Strike and Warcraft 3. Even then, that was only a distraction from his assaults at fighting game culture. Here, he lambasted what was known in the fighting game community as combo videos. In the early days of the fighting game community, CDs were exchanged in person. These carried videos of various combos or tactics one could utilize, yet the existence of them were also controversial as groups could gatekeep the data. Now, with the internet in play and data shared at a faster pace, tactics and their discovery were virtually immediately adapted and the meta was becoming solidified. Even still, the combo video situation is more complex than just defining metas, as DSP points out. Quote, "In some cases, the combo videos are single character only or console only," unquote. The last bit is of utter importance. Now mid-2004, arcades have long been losing their purpose to the increasingly popular home video game console, and
Your skill has increased.
Prioritizing consoles could increase accessibility for players and allow for significantly cheaper and easier to manage components as consoles and their elements could be set up and altered with ease. This transition was controversial only for those brought up in arcade culture and those in competitive gaming communities. When a game, like Street Fighter for example, is ported from the superior hardware of an arcade cabinet to the limited or vastly different video game console, color, resolution, and most importantly mechanics could differ based on the port. And though the technology and quality control had improved, it was still not good enough. It was a jump that would eventually have to be made, but perhaps it was too soon.
Evolution console? It's my worst nightmare, dude. I'm an arcade player. I hear you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if this is the future, we're gonna have to, it's evolving, so we're gonna have to adapt. Personally, I don't like it, but, you know, no choice.
That was Alex Valle at EVO 2004, sharing what was the popular opinion among the top fighting game players. And to the displeasure of many, their worst nightmare would manifest in ways they could hardly predict. EVO 2005 would live in infamy for its decision to use the PlayStation port of Street Fighter II Turbo and the outcome of the matches. Both.
Well, that's cool. So Lotro has new 64-bit servers. Oh, so Lotro did Classic, and they're doing a return, and I didn't know, and so I will do the content finally. That's awesome. Okay, so...
You are now AFK, away from keyboard.
No, I want to go protect.
Your skill has increased.
That's cool. So I'm going to return to Classic Lotro while I do all this hardcore stuff, and it'll give me something to focus on until New World hits. That's awesome. I like that they did Classic. Wonder how hard the game is on difficulty 9. Difficulty 9. Who cares? You don't need hardcore at that point. I kind of want to pop 9 just to see what it's like and see how bad it is. Each mob probably like damn near kills you, and you're like, ah, that fight was so nasty, you know. And I don't think I need that kind of level of difficulty. I think I'm gonna go with level 2 so I don't get random burning rings or whatever. Wow. These are 64-bit servers, which my big complaint with Lotro was like how crappy the server tech was. But yeah, if the server's 64-bit, it might be really fucking good, actually. I'll probably make a hunter, I guess. Hobbit hunter? Yeah, maybe a Hobbit hunter. Or I don't know. Maybe I want to be a minstrel. Oh, I have to go fly to Crossroads, huh? Yeah. Ooh, there's such good stuff going on. New World is getting a like a resurgence with console and stuff, and I'm gonna return to New World for Fresh Start. Fresh Start in like what, like 20 days or something, 3 weeks. I'm excited. It gives me something to really look forward to. I'm fucking excited. And then on the way, I'm gonna do Lotro. I'm gonna do Lotro, return to Lotro, on the 64-bit Angmar servers.
Your skill has increased.
In one way or another.
In 2005, I think it was, the three of you were absent from ST8. What happened that year?
When you click Bison and you hit
Fighter's flame and it only goes like 20% of the screen, you got a problem with the game. And you got some idiot named DSP who's a total piece of shit, by the way. I like to get that on YouTube. But this guy thought he was hot shit because he beat me and Troy in a game that was like, it's like fucking Neo Geo conversion of Street Fighter or some crap.
First of all, I have to bring this up. Alex Valle did not enter this tournament. He claimed he was busy and he couldn't show up. Bullshit. He was like, "Oh, I'm protesting Evo because they're not holding Arcade Super Turbo. I don't want to enter or whatever." Right?
Arcade Super Turbo.
He was still there, but he didn't enter. He did not enter the tournament.
Welcome to the Crossroads, adventurer. My name is Thork.
Want to know why they do
Lead the
those Neo
defenses here
Geo?
in the name of the War Chief. Please feel free to make yourself at home. As long as you mind your business, no one should have any problem with you taking up some space. There are many threats to our safety here. If you've already
I'm gonna get
become familiar
24.
with the lay of the land,
I'm up
speak to
higher
the
than I've
others
been in a
here.
while.
Perhaps they have tasks for you to do.
No,
You found the Razormane leader and killed him yourself, adventurer?
Yes.
Amazing. I am without words, but that does not mean I am without thanks. The people of the Crossroads would do well to respect your strength, I must admit. I thought the leader of these raids on our supply lines was another Quillbore. Thank you again, adventurer.
Your skill has increased.
I just want to get away from the goblin. I don't think he can aggro me, but I don't want to find out. Frankly.
That day.
So you want to know why they do that? Why they make you fight them on those Neo Geo cabinet fucking weird machines and stuff? Because there's like source code at the beginning of the arcade software program that lets you load a profile, and on that profile you can put cheats and stuff like that to make your character do slightly like lesser things or better things, and it's sort of weird, you know. And that's why he made him fight, because he's also an arcade cheater. Which really, I would say, doesn't surprise me. He probably used his prize winnings from these fighter tourneys to learn to buy cheat code stuff and figure out how to cheat people and stuff. It's stupid, but that's what people like this do.
PS1 that you might be like, what the
Ruin
fuck?
leather scraps.
Jason Wilson.
No, even a PS1 would make me nervous. I would want the original arcade machine. Or on, I don't know, a PlayStation is fine, but the PlayStation would make me nervous though. I'd be like, yeah, it would need to be cool when we're playing it. I don't want the PlayStation on all day.
Normally, I don't like to eat these rodents when they're so ripe. Like
I would
to let
accept the
them
LAN
rot for a
Cafe
few weeks to
PlayStation,
really
but
bring out
it
the
would make me
flavor.
nervous. I would
But
need
you
to
look
see
so
the
hungry.
PlayStation.
Let me fix you
Receive
some
item.
dig
Above
rat
block.
stew. There we go. Here you go.
I wouldn't need to touch it. I would need to see it though.
You receive loot. Strange DUSTX2.
This was I'll send all this off. I need to do some heavy wool bandages. That was another thing I didn't have in there.
You create heavy wool bandage.
Pretty sure I played John Choi and I beat him.
You create heavy wool bandage.
DSP at EVO 2005 surged in
heavy
the
wool
ranks
bandage.
for Street Fighter II Turbo, a feat
create
that was
heavy wool
achieved
bandage.
through a superior knowledge of the game.
During that
heavy wool
period of
bandage.
time, I learned some major differences about the game,
create heavy wool bandage.
including the fact that some characters were different sizes. They weren't as tall or as short as they were supposed.
I could go do Pauline now, I suppose. I would actually maybe survive. And it is a quest that would get me closer to Ding. And go do all the lockpicking and stuff. I suppose that is something I can finally do. I'm a little higher this time. I was 19 when I was last there. Too low. Dig rat stew. Oh, I got dig rat stew. Cool. Gross, dig rats, huh? Ugh. Yeah, so let's send stuff off and then go do Polly and not mess up this time. I don't really know. The Snapvine make me nervous now. I'm going to send them off, and I'm going to blow some of my money on, like, food. Only liquids on.
As the wind on the plains, you are always welcome here.
Oh, I sent my Snapvine off, and I shouldn't have. Damn it. Okay, well, that's okay, I guess. It's not the best thing in the world, though. It's unfortunate. That's okay.
You receive item. Snapvine watermelons 5. You receive item. Snapvine watermelons 5. You receive item. Snapvine watermelons 5. You receive item. Snapvine watermelons 5.
To be, and they had different hitboxes. I found out certain characters did different stun amounts than they did in Arcade Super Turbo. I found out that one of my characters, Vega, was incredibly easy to do these complex combos with.
I used to play Vega.
Harder to do in the arcade.
Yeah, I used to play Vega in Super Street
Your
Fighter
skill
2
has
Turbo
increased.
for this specific reason, what he's talking about. And I used to trounce kids at the fucking arcade because Vega is not a normal hero. He's never been. He bounces off walls and shit, and he, like, you know, he rolls forward, and he can slam. He can slam suplex you with a single weapon, or with a single button, and it does like a quarter of your bar. So if you let your guard down at all, he'll just fucking body slam you. He was such an interesting character. He was definitely my favorite.
Version of the game.
I knew the minute I saw him, I was like, that's the only cool character.
Beauty of Phil's achievement, and now beating all of his American opponents in EVE.
It was weird because he was also the only one that was permitted a weapon. None of the rest of them were permitted a weapon, but he was for some reason.
2005 is that he touts his knowledge as a fair advantage. But when he goes up against the Japanese players who also dedicated themselves to the port without protest, he changes his tone.
So now I was in the position, boom, if I win like 1 to 2 more matches, I could win the whole event. And then my final match in the tournament was against Tokido, who picked a mirror. We did a mirror match of Vega, and he was
I knew you couldn't resist some of this brew. Come back again anytime you want some more, adventurer. Just bring me more of the ingredients I had you collect.
Quest accepted.
Storm Stout, huh? I have another recipe I learned from Champ. Would you be interested? It won't take long to make, and it might be useful if you plan on adventuring some more. Bring me 5 lightning glands from any storm hide, 1 Thunderhawk saliva gland from Greater Thunderhawks, and a Kodo liver from any of the Baron's Kodos. Like I said, this stuff has kick. It's the Trog brew that I mentioned to you before.
or 2 people, and I was, you know, I fucked up, I admit. He beat me. And so what ended up happening, I got 4th place. The top 3 places were all Japanese players.
DSP had ranked 4 at EVE 2005 for Street Fighter 2 Turbo, and used these statistics to state that he was the top American player. The more he will promote this, the more he'll be scrutinized for the details around his victory. What's more, the details about his life.
I like this video, but I want to watch something else at the moment. So this I want to save. I want to go to YouTube and I want to look at Lotro. Oh yeah, is there something like that? Yeah, let's watch that again.
What's up, everybody? I'm Renfail. Welcome back to the channel.
Yeah, Renfail's good, but I also want to see a video about Lotro. What is it? It's Lotro. Oh yeah, Shire leveling guide. Yeah. Let's sort by view count. Okay, so let's do this. Thank you, Digital Flashfire. I have like and sub to your channel.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Digital Flashfire. This is Dan. Today we're going to do something a little different. We're going to talk about Lord of the Rings Online. We're going to talk about a leveling guide. We're going to take you from 1 to 50 today, and then we're going to do 50 to 75 in the next video. This one's going to be a little bit denser. The other one's going to be a little more, probably a little more even-keeled, but it's definitely going to be something to watch out for. Now, I'm not going to do an in-depth class guide of each class. I am going to talk about the 4 basic roles of Lotro, the classes that you'll want to play to fill them, the classes to avoid as a new player, and some other kind of qualifiers for the rest of this video. So first off, pretty much any class is a good choice for a new person in the game, especially if you have experience in other MMOs. The ones I would caution you to avoid right away are the Warden and the Bjorning. They're just... I love the Warden. It's actually my favorite class. You're going to see it later on in this video a few times, but it really isn't... it just isn't forgiving, and Bjorning I just don't feel is in that great of a place. If you haven't played an MMO before, a Champion, Hunter, Minstrel, and to some extent Guardian would probably be your best choices.
Champion, Hunter, Minstrel, and Guardian. Maybe!
There really isn't like I said, there really isn't a wrong choice. I mean, if you're brand new to role-playing games, Warden's going to be awful and Bjorning's going to be tough, but you're not going to have those available unless you pay for them anyway. So what we're looking for as far as the zones, what we're going to advise you to do, what we're going to advise you to avoid. So the first thing is quest and mob density. We want...
Oh, I forgot.
We don't want crazy aggro storms of mobs that are going to eat you alive. So zones and the zones. What we're going to advise you to do, what we're going to advise you to avoid. So the first thing is quest and mob density. We want lots of quests, and we don't want crazy aggro storms of mobs that are going to eat you alive. So zones that have been designed with the more modern standard in mind is going to be what we're going to aim for. We're going to look for zones that are fun and interesting. If a zone is really down, really depressing, just not something to get excited about, well, then we're not really going to recommend it. It also has to get you through to the next zone we're going to recommend. And there are a couple of tough gaps, tough places to get through. But we are going to deal with that as best we can, and we're going to show you kind of some recommended strategies on how to do things. As far as traits, we're going to talk about that a little in the actual video, but in general, red line, red line, red line. And as far as crafting, do pick a crafting profession. Pick one that will allow you to make your own legendary weapons generally.
My brother sent you, did he? Then you must have proven yourself. 550. If you have earned the respect of Yorn, then you have my respect as well. Are you ready to tread farther down the hunter's path? The grand Isha Awak is lord of these waters. Great is his strength and solemn his pride. The humans on the coast fear him, for he has consumed many of their number. But I do not fear him. I am grateful he is here. He is a worthy challenge and honorable prey. If you are ready, then swim out and search for Isha Awak, the deep doom. His spirit dwells in his heart, and to hear its beat is to know your fate.
Alright, so that's kind of our intro. That's where we're going to go into. Next, we're going to talk about the zones you're going to want to play, how you're going to want to play them, and the fun you're going to have in them. For the first zone, we're going to talk about the Shire. The Shire is far and away the best zone you're going to run into for leveling a new character. Even if you're leveling a dwarf or a man or an elf. It's the race of man. I'm not using man in any kind of pejorative sense or anything. But any of those you're going to want to... you're going to want to head to the Shire, and you're going to want to run the quests there, because it is just a much, much better zone. The Shire is... it's one of the first zones. It's still one of the best zones, and everything that's happened with it has made it better. One thing that's kind of interesting, especially at night, you know, the Tolkien always believed that Middle-earth was actually part of our world. It was our world in an earlier stage. And this game recreates that by putting in constellations like, well, the Big Dipper.
You receive loot, strangle kelp.
And all of the major constellations are there. Some of them are hidden by trees because I'm crap. But that's the kind of detail you get in this game. You know, they're very faithful to Tolkien's vision of the world. But one thing to, I guess, remember, one thing to keep in mind, the goal of this guide is to get you leveling as quickly as possible. And to make that happen, you want to have your character in a place with good quest density. And this zone has it. Just, I mean, staggering along, and you have quest after quest after quest after quest after quest that I can do even at level 8. I mean, I've got my, you know, task tracker filled already. So this zone is definitely going to meet the need of having enough quests, even if some of them are weird. Hobbits are, in a lot of ways, the Moogles of Lord of the Rings. So like this nosy hobbit, if I'm doing the mail carrier quest and I get too close to him, he's going to spot me and I'm going to fail the quest and have to start over. When you're carrying pies, and yes, there is a pie carrying quest. That's, you know, welcome to hobbits. So if I'm doing the pie carrying quest and that a hungry hobbit sees me, well, guess what? I fail the quest and I get to start over.
You receive loot, Holy Blackmouth.
Like I said, with crafting, it's not something you're going to want to do a lot of starting out, and wow, this character is brand new. But it is something that you're going to want to keep an eye on, because one of the things I like, you get experience for crafting, and it's not an insignificant amount of experience. So as long as it doesn't take you too far out of your way, sure, go ahead, do your crafting. You know, keep up on your tiers, make sure you can at least farm materials for whatever you're going to go back and do later. The other neat thing about the Shire is, well, it's some of the most written about parts of the Lord of the Rings. When you're in the Shire, you're traveling. I mean, you're going to go, you know, you've got quests that'll take you through, you know, through Michel Delving. You've got quests that will take you, you know, into Hobbiton. You've got quests that'll take you up the hill to the Party Tree and eventually to Baegon. So you're going to get a lot of lore, which, if you're playing Lord of the Rings, let's face it, it's not the primary reason you're playing the game. But going to Baegon, going to the Party Tree, going to, you know, all these places that they talk about, heck, going to the Green Dragon, it's something that you really want to keep an eye on. And as a zone, this is one of the best zones you're going to get in the game. It's not the best, but this is a great zone. It's a very modern zone, and I think it holds up well against, you know, even zones from like World of Warcraft or Star Wars The Old Republic, which are designed with a much more modern theme in mind, or with much more modern methods in mind. Well, look at the, you know, when you play this zone, you're going to have a lot of fun. You're also going to be building deeds and traits, which you're definitely going to want later. You also run into a lot of important characters. Gaffer Gamgee, Sam Gamgee's old gaffer, I guess he's called. So the first zone you're going to go through, like I said, is we're terrible, is the Shire. Then the next zone we're going to go to is Bree.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. You see here on the map, we've gone through the Shire. Now we're heading east into Breeland, and I'm going to show you the view as you get into Breeland. And on the music system's great, and if you ever see people playing music, it's usually worth keeping an eye on them. You've got the Greenway Crossing, and then you've got the Gates of Bree. They don't ever close them, which is nice, because that would be really annoying if they did. Breeland is, you're kind of forced into it. There really aren't any options between the mid, you know, the teens and the low 20s. So everyone's going to go to Bree, and the epic story is going to send you to Bree, and you're going to want to do the epic story. Do keep up on it. You know, you want to do the quests in it as you get them, up until really Angmar, in which case you're probably going to want to wait a little while. The other big reason to go to Bree is, you know, lore-wise, well, you're going to see, you know, like the Inn of the Prancing Pony. I mean, these are storied locations. These are characters you're going to really want to, you know, see. It's part of the experience that presumably you're playing the game for. So the other nice thing about Bree is there's a lot of quest chains. You can easily over-level in Bree. I don't really recommend it, but you can. So going to the map of Bree itself, you're going to wander around the northern Bree fields, you're going to wander around the Brandy Hills, you're going to go to the Barrow Downs. Depending on how long you stay, you may actually end up in eastern Bree fields in the far Chetwood, but by and large, you're going to be spending most of your time south and west of Bree. And it's a very, very good zone. There are very few places where you run into aggro storms, where you've got, you know, the Murloc villages where everything is trying to eat your face. So, and you also, it's one of the main areas if role-playing's your thing. I know we're kind of in a hardcore leveling guide, but hey, if role-playing's your thing, Bree is where it all begins. There are a lot of concerts here. You saw the people at the, you know, you may have seen the people at the beginning playing music on the bridge. There's a lot to see in this area. There's a lot to do in this area. So, again, Bree is the easy, automatic choice when it comes to where to go once you're done in the Shire. You are also going to be picking up a lot of traits, so do keep an eye on that. You know, traits are much more important early on. They used to be the big endgame thing, but now the stat bonuses are most useful at the beginning. At level 20, you're going to pick up skirmishes. I really cannot recommend skirmishes enough. Whether it's picking up that odd level, whether it's grinding for a little bit better gear if you have some stuff that's fallen behind, skirmishes have a lot to offer you. Also, this is kind of a living zone in a lot of ways. The Thornley's worksite did not used to have nearly as many buildings, but they decided to go ahead and add to it. And I wouldn't be surprised if they went back and did even more at some point in the future, probably as the Fellowship, or not the Fellowship, but as Frodo moves towards Mount Doom and as they resolve the epic story, I would be surprised to see Bree get even a little bit more developed. And it's a zone you return to throughout the game. It's kind of the Stormwind of Lord of the Rings.
You receive item, ECAC.
So next up, we are going to head even further east into the Lone Lands. We're going to talk about a couple of different issues that you're going to run into there. And we're going to talk about why we're doing the Lone Lands as opposed to other zones and some of the other decisions we make. The next zone we're going to look at is the Lone Lands, and as you can see on the map, it lies immediately to the east of Breeland. Now, there's 2 towns in the Lone Lands. The first one you're going to see is going to be the Forsaken Inn immediately as you enter. The second one is Ostgaruth, much further to the east. There's a couple other small encampments you're going to go to, but these are going to be your 2 big quest hubs. And they are extremely, extremely dense quest hubs. You are going to get an absolute ton of experience in this zone. It is also going to give you a lot of...
I should have bought a head and a neck
lore.
by now.
You're actually going to be, this is going to be a zone you're going to return to several times. Now,
you receive loot.
as you can see from the video here, this is a very desolate, kind of barren-looking area. It's very up and down, it's very hilly. Down in the distance, you can actually see the Forsaken Inn, and on the other side, you can make out Ostgaruth if I can do it without falling. But the real reason you go here is because of Weathertop. If you remember from the movies, if you remember from the book, this is where they go. This is where Frodo gets wounded, and this is where Gandalf leaves his little note for them. Now, and this is just an absolutely
your skill has
stunning bit of scenery. That's how healers DPS, by the way. That will easily show you kind of the grandeur of this game, the way that this game is sort of meant to be looked at. And that's part of the reason why we picked this zone over the North Downs. In theory, the North Downs gives you more experience, but it takes forever. The quest density is much lower. You are more likely to run into the occasional aggro storm. You're more likely to suffer the sort of issues that we're trying to help you avoid with this guide. So rather than send you up into the North Downs and have you take much longer to gain experience on a per hour basis, even if the total gain would be greater, we're going to suggest go to the Lone Lands, follow the epic book, and you're going to go into the North Downs too. You'll see the sights, but the sights aren't as impressive. Trestle Bridge is nowhere near as impressive as Weathertop, and you're just not going to miss anything. There's nothing in the North Downs that's worth missing Weathertop. So that's kind of the logic we're going to be following. It's going to be very much a experience per hour as well as fun. And there are some neat things in the North Downs. I mean, there's the little elven colony, there's the little dwarven colony, there's the bickering, and it's kind of entertaining, but by and large, the most fun you're going to have and the fastest you're going to level is definitely going to be in the Lone Lands. As you can see on the map, the next area we're going to look at is Evendim. Evendim is a wonderful, wonderful zone, and it's one that I think should actually be studied by level developers as an example of how to do things. This used to be one of the worst zones, if not in every MMO, then certainly in Lord of the Rings Online. And they've gone so far in fixing it that I think they've taken it to the best zone in any MMO. From 30 to 40, you're going to be in this zone, and you're probably going to want to stay in it longer. It is so good. The quest density starting down in Oatbarton and Bullroarer's Sword is fantastic, taking you up to Tinandir and Ostfarad, even out in Emmanuel, I believe. Taking out Emmanuel, also known as the EvE Spires. We're going to call it the EvE Spires. Now, if you look, the scenery here also helps make the zone. Not only do you have a great level of quests, you have this history of the Northern Kingdom of Arnor, with the Statue of the Kings, with, you know, the ruined cities and watchtowers. If you remember from the book, the outpost at Weathertop was just that. It was an outpost. It was a watchtower for this kingdom, and you can see Numinos down below me, stretching out around the lake, and Tinandir, which is the Rangers' camp in the ancient kingdom of Arnor. Now, this is a beautiful zone. It is an amazing zone, and it's one that players are going to spend a lot of time in. And everything about it is much more modern than what you see in, say, North Downs and even Lone Lands, and even some later zones like Mirkwood. I mean, even Mirkwood is not as tight, is not as well organized and as fun as this zone. It's more beautiful. Mirkwood and the whole Sad Elf area. I'm sorry, that's what it is. It's the Sad Elves. Is absolutely gorgeous, but it doesn't play as well as Even did. And you're going to go to the zone and you're going to love it, and you're going to thank me for telling you to go here rather than stumbling around the North Downs and the Trollshaws. The Trollshaws you're going to go to, and we're going to talk a little bit about this, because there's this awkward area from the high 40s on. So going back to the map, Evendim really peters out around level 40. And you're going to go to the Trollshaws some, and you're going to go to the Misty Mountains some. But as soon as you get to 42 or 43, and you're also going to run some skirmishes, because you really want to you do want to keep up on skirmishes. But as soon as you can, you're going to go to the next zone. So let's show you that. So the second last zone we're going to go to is going to be Tortoshell. This is a stunningly beautiful zone, and it's also a very well-developed zone. Now, as you can see on the map, it is about as far north as you can get and still be in Middle-earth. However, it's not, by any stretch of the imagination, a desolate or empty zone. It's very, between the quests, between the mobs, you're going to be very entertained by this zone. It is home to one of the most difficult skirmishes, although I find it really fun on the characters that I choose to skirmish with. But what you're going to see as you travel through it, and you have this wonderful icy land that you've got the northern lights, you've got this stunning skyscape, you've got these beautiful...
I don't mean to scare you, adventurer, but the last 5 thieves I sent to steal the South Sea treasure came back to me in pieces. South along the coast, you'll find Tide Razor, the South Sea freebooter ship. Nestled in the hold is the payoff, the South Sea treasure. On the second level of that ship is the Pirate's Den, a place where they train all of their thieves. Board that ship, steal the treasure and bring it back to me. Use the Pirate's Den if you need to practice your thievery, but be careful.
It's much more related to the race of man, and with the immersion you're going to get in Moria and even in Evendim, I think that this is a very good zone to break that up. It's also designed for level. other zones in this range were endgame zones. It's places like, you know, Misty Mountains, which is definitely group-oriented, especially in the higher levels, as well as, Angmar. Oh god, Angmar. You're not going to want to go to Angmar. Honestly, even with the epic book quest, I would hold off on going to Angmar until after you've done the Gates of Moria, until after you've got your legendary weapon, because it is going to make your life so much easier. You know, this zone is designed to be played by one person. There's very little group stuff. There is some, but even a lot of that is easily soloable. And this, it catches the grandeur and it catches the beauty of Tolkien without putting you into that sometimes overly fanciful light that you get when the devs kind of indulge their Tolkien-esque senses. In addition, there's a lot of good gear in this area. We haven't really talked about it very much, but this is definitely a point in the game where gear starts to get significantly more important. You know, probably before Evendim, as long as you had a weapon that was within 10 levels of your level, you were fine. Now you really want to start tightening it up, and this is definitely a good zone to get gear in. Now there is a little bit of a gap between Evendim at 40 and Foreshell at theoretically 44, realistically 42. So again, skirmishes, which will help you with that gear and help you with marks and medallions and all that good stuff, as well as picking up epic book quests and finishing those out will get you into the correct level range to enjoy this. This is a rep grind as well. We haven't really talked about that much, and you don't really want to spend a lot of time grinding rep in most cases. This is one of those cases where it will help you out to be paying attention to rep, to trying to do quests and encounters that will increase the rep you're getting. Now this is, as I said, this isn't the most lore intensive zone, but there are some things that happen here and that you'll encounter here, including a specific wrecked ship that are really neat little Easter eggs for people that are more involved in the Tolkien lore. Following this, you're going to go on into Eregion. For those of you who are really deeply involved in the lore, this zone is where Celebrimbor made the Rings of Power. It's where Sauron taught the elves.
This video was fucking boring.
Why, hello, and welcome back to another episode of Voice of the Rings on Lotro Guide. Alright, today, my friends, so I want to do a quick video on what Zullen Ironshield, his favorite questing track is. Like, where do I go? Where do I normally go to quest, right? Like, how do I do it really fast, right? Since I've been playing this game since the very beginning, and it just had its 15-year anniversary. The level cap right now is 140, so I want to help the new people who are just coming into the game, or you need a refresher. And you guys loved my Lotro efficiently questing video, so I want to make a more precise version of that, as in more precise being a one streamlined choice that you can pick if you're someone that's just like, where do I go? I want a level, I want to do it fast and efficiently, where do I go? Alright, that's the goal of this video right now, right? And I want to do it in a timely manner for you as well. So again, if you have other questions or things you'd like me to show you in the future or other guide videos, please leave a comment. Don't forget to like and subscribe if it helps you out, and let's move straight into it. So, we're here at my house in the Bay of the Cape of Belfast. But we are going to talk about Eriador, because this is where you start, right, in the game. So when you start out, you're level 1. They did add a thing right now, which I have some videos on, of you. They gave you a little Valor boosting where you can instantly go to level 50 for the 15th year anniversary special thing. If you're confused on that, go check out my other guide videos. I have a few things I talk about Valor boosts and what they do. But again, this will help you because I'll tell you where you'll need to be at level 50 as well. So what I normally do is, whether I play human, hobbit, dwarf, elf, Bjorning, high elf, stout axe, all the things, they're all going to start in a few places, all right? So Breland, Arch is your big one, right? So Arch is where you are going to be when you start as a hobbit or a human, usually. They'll also send the Bjorning here and that kind of stuff. And basically what I do, though, is realistically you don't come back to... These are the big things you have to remember, guys. The really big things, okay? The big things you have to remember are the fact that there's regular quests, there's introduction quests, and there are book quests. Book quests are the big one. Those are the main story. Those are what you follow through. Those will guide you through the game, okay? The introduction quest at the beginning guides you to
okay,
about
so the Raptor horns didn't work so well, but that's all right. No one got rich on their first try. And besides,
there will be one
I think I found something that'll work.
It'll lead you down to Comb and so on, but I'm not going to talk about that one. Because if you like that, I'll do another video on that. But I don't know that one as well because I don't do that one all the time. The one we're going to talk about is the introduction quest over in Air the Wind, where you start in Thorin's Hall, which is where elves start over here at the Refuge, and dwarves in Thorin's Hall, okay? So now let's say you are a hobbit or whatever, and you get out of the little intro, right? You'll be like level 5 or something, 5, 6-ish, a hobbit or a human. You want to come over here. Same thing with the dwarves, they'll pop out right here on the elves in their intro. But if you are, it's not that hard. If you do want to do this, what I'm teaching you right now, just basically go down, go out of Arching, go down to Comb. There's a little horse stable here, and you can take a swift travel to Thorin's Gate. All right, and then you can start what I'm telling you right now. So, do the quests in here. Start up the intro quest. There's an intro quest you're gonna pick up right up here. You'll probably talk to Dwalin a little bit inside Thorin's Hall. There's a guy here. There's a bunch of little quests out here in the in Farron's Court. You're gonna do level 5. You're gonna be level 7, whatever. Do all these quests. There's a gear quest that basically you go back and forth over and over from Thorin's Gate, Thorin's Hall, and you go out and do these things, but I'm not going to sidetrack you guys. My suggestion, skip the gear quest, okay? Unless you're a completionist, just skip that one. Just do the basic ones where you go to all these different caves, you turn them all in here. Now you're a certain level. Now they're going to give you a question. They're going to say, go to talk to him at Noglod, right? All right, Noglod is down here. That'll be the next spot you'll be. You'll be about around level 9-ish, I think, maybe, possibly at this point. And you'll be doing some quests around here. You'll go help someone for the chapter quest, right? Or the intro quest here. Make sure you keep doing the intro quest because it's going to lead you in the book quests, right? So keep doing those. If the quests are really underneath you guys, like as in, this is something I explained in the other one, which I'll explain real quickly for you guys because this is really important to know. If quests are, the color scheme matters, okay? So I'm going to open these quests. If you see these white ones, they're on my level or within one level. The color, blue means you're getting a little lower than you. Orange is, they're quite a bit higher, right? Again, I'm level 133, you can see right here. And it says the level right here in your quest log, right? 130, so that's a little high for me. 125, these are a little low for me. When they gray out, it's a really too low for you, right? They're some like 20-something levels lower than you, right? So that's what you have to think about with that. And then once you have those, that in mind, right? Just remember that some quests you will need to complete the next quests, okay? So some quests, like, you might have a great quest and be like, oh, it's too low level, I won't get very much XP, I'll just cancel out of my inventory. Well, don't forget, some quests will open the next quest and guide you to the next area, all right? So that's the reason I say that, is now we go back over to Erdloin, we're in Noglod. Now you might get a quest where it says, go talk to blah, blah, blah at Gondaman. Okay, so now you've done all the quests here, you've done the chapter quest, you might have ran back over to Thorin's Hall. Don't forget to click on the Stable Masters while you're questing. Make sure you learn them because it's really annoying later to have to run all the way back if you didn't click the Stable Master. It's very important for questing. So then you're going to go down to Gondaman and you're going to do quests around here, and they're going to send you over. There's going to be some quests to do over here, and there's going to be an elf quest. You can do these little barrow downs, and there's a spider quest, and then there's some stuff down here they might send you to do. And then once you're done with a few quests here, the chapter, it's going to send you to a camp right here, which is Thresh's Lodge, right? And it's this Dwarf's Lodge, and you're going to help this one ranger, which you'll have an instance, kind of different instance one and thing. You'll do some quests here. There's like a lost bow down here. You basically, if you can't find a lost bow, it's a little guy that walks around right here outside the base. Just kill the dwarf with the name, the special name, and he'll have the bow. You do a couple quests in there. You can go down here. You can do these quests. You might be high enough level at this point that you won't have to do that, the area down here, when you go down this little valley. So remember, the big one you have to keep track of is you're following the...
No, wait. Oops. Okay, so I'm going west. Yeah, I'm going west. And now I can fly to Stone Talon, and I will be a little bit more fit for those quests. Or I could go to Ashen Vale, actually. I prefer Ashen Vale. But we'll go do this one with the bunker. I think I might go melee. Goddamn fireworks are so annoying.
Bill has increased.
I don't understand this quest. Okay, so I need to go west. Okay. I don't see any horde. I think I'm gonna retake the quest. I have glitched or some such. I don't know.
We have our duties, adventurer. Duties to the Horde.
The Horde commends your successes against the Kolkar, but the Kolkar themselves are maddened. I have reports that a contingent of Kolkar has traveled to the Barrens from their home in Disolis to seek vengeance. My latest report was that even now, they move against these bunkers from the west. Face the Kolkar invaders and end their threat in the Barrens. Kill them until their leader, Warlord Kromzar, appears. Defeat him and bring me a piece of his banner as proof. We're counting on you, adventurer.
You loot 9 copper.
Aggro.
You loot 26 copper.
Aggro.
You loot 39 copper.
Aggro. Aggro.
You receive loot, wool cloth. You loot 21 copper. You loot 14 copper.
Aggro.
You loot 16 copper. You loot 32 copper.
Aggro.
You receive loot, calico belt. You loot 8 copper.
Aggro.
You loot 30 copper.
Aggro.
Landing guy yells, halfway there. You receive loot,
Aggro.
group battle axe. You receive loot, linen cloth. You loot 18 copper. You loot 38 copper.
Aggro.
You loot 18 copper.
Right, ooh, I'm gonna ding off this somehow. No, I don't think these are giving XP, never mind.
Aggro.
Receive loot, linen cloths 2. You loot 43 copper.
Aggro.
You loot 18 copper.
Aggro.
You loot 15 copper. You receive loot, light hunting bow.
Aggro.
You loot 9 copper. You receive loot, patched leather boots. You receive loot, wool cloth. Warlord Kromzar yells, the Kolkar are the strongest.
Aggro.
You loot 13 copper. Warlord Kromzar says, face me, if you dare.
Your auction of light hive sold.
Oh. I don't know.
Aggro.
You receive loot, lesser healing potion. You loot 31 copper.
I don't know. I think it's death. I don't think so. We'll, it's weird that this one's not rated elite because it is an elite quest. It's stupid.
Aggro.
You receive loot, poncho meat. You loot 24 copper. Horde Axe Thrower says, beware. The call car attack.
Aggro.
No. Yeah, no, that's death. I'm just gonna skip this one. Abandon. 26, but I'm 23. I guess we go now to Stone Talon. It was a good try, though. I wanted to see, you know. And no, I wasn't ready. It's a shame. I wish I could kill him. I'll have to come back when I'm like 26 or something. I don't think well, I don't know. Maybe I should ask for help, huh? I don't know. No, I don't like this one. I think I'm the one who could die. Yeah.
The book quests, right? The other little quests sometimes you'll turn in a quest and it'll give you a quest to go to this next area, but it's not always necessary to get those next quests. But it is necessary for books and chapter and prologues. That's what I'm telling you. So like, if you're doing a book quest, if you decline it, you have to go re-pick it up from the original person, turn it in, and then you get the next one from the next person. Versus where some of these quests will take you to another area and say, go talk to this person. When you get there, you talk to them, and then they give you another quest, but they would have given you that quest anyway, even if you hadn't had that quest. Okay, does that make sense? I don't want to confuse you guys too much if you're not. It's get a little too crazy there on you guys. So, now, the next thing I would do is skip over the Shire, alright? At this point, it's going to tell you, go talk to Aragorn and Bree, alright? So, they just added Yonder Shire. You could definitely question Yonder Shire. I have yet to quest with a low-level character in Yonder Shire. So, even though it's brand new, and this is 2022, me talking about the game, right? You could quest here if you want to, but I will not be telling you any good paths, because I don't know if the chapter quest really... If you're going to be following chapter quest, you won't really want that. So, move straight on over to Breeland. You won't need to go to the Shire unless you want to do quests in the Shire, but again, the quests Shire level for Shire, Erdluin, and Arched area over here in Breeland are all the same. So anyway, but then once you get here, you're going to get over to Buckland area, and you're going to go over and talk to Butterbur. You're going to get quests from him, start doing quests there. Then the next best areas to quests. Okay, this is my mind. I'm just giving you general areas to make this quick for you. Then I would say go to Oslo's camp, possibly. You could also go up to, there's a guy up here. There's a little building up here. You can help them work and do work. You could go back over to Buckland and do quests. You are going to have to go into the Old Forest. You could go do some Buckland quests in the Old Forest. Go to Buckland and do some of those, because you're going to have to talk to Tom Bombadil after you talk to Aragorn a little bit. And then you're going to get sent to the Barrow Downs, right, and do some stuff with Tom Bombadil. You might have to do an instance, that kind of stuff. That's the chapter quest I'm talking about. Now, at this point, you're probably, well, almost level 20.
Your skill has increased.
You've been doing the chapter quest, you've been doing all the other quests that are around that are on par with your level. So at this point, there's two different things you can do. You can either go to the Lone Lands and start at the Forsaken Inn. Or you can go north to the North Downs and start at Trestle Bridge. It's really up to you. They're about the same level. I would recommend, depending on, I think the chapter will send you to the Lone Lands first. So I would go do the Lone Lands quests. You're going to go over, you do some stuff in here. You're going to go over, there's that ranger camp up here behind Weathertop. You're going to be helping him a bunch, so make sure he has a horse you can use. Make sure you use it. You're going to make sure you keep on the chapter quests, because a lot of times they make you go back and forth a lot to do different stories and plots versus the regular quests where you'll like go in Forsaken and pick up, kill goblins, go out, kill goblins, turn it in, you're done, right? But the chapter quests, you're going to be going back and forth a little bit. So then you might have to go up to Weathertop, that kind of thing. Now at this point, you could go straight over to Oscaruth, but Oscaruth is a little bit higher level, so you might want to bounce between Forsaken Inn, if you're not high enough level yet, and Trestle Bridge. Okay, so you're going to be bouncing back and forth between those two. That's for the new, those are the areas. And again, the quests are going to help guide you. This whole point of my video right now is to kind of just help you focus on where you need to be going, okay? So now, at this point, with Trestle Bridge, you'll be doing some quests out here, around here. There will be a quest guy over here at this guy's camp and ranger. You could do the quest out here in the Fields of Fornos. There's a couple. I would kind of ignore them. I would more just go over to this camp where the horses, Amon Wraith, and do some quests there. At this point, you will be sent, at this point, I would...
Your skill has increased.
Just like with any MMO, class choice is going to be a very important...
Wait, I want to see that bear fight.
Just like with any MMO, class choice is going to be a very important part of your experience in the Lord of the Rings Online, and that is also definitely true when playing solo. So today we'll be looking at what is the best class for solo.
I like that spear shield one.
And to start off, this might be a bit obvious, but I honestly do think the best class to play solo and level is the one that you have the most fun with. That's just something to keep in mind as we do evaluate each class. But briefly, I will be sharing what each class offers, like the pros and cons for it, and then we'll review the overall best class, and hopefully from that you can decide the best solo class for you. And if you are unfamiliar with the Lotro classes, I'll have a little indicator on the bottom left for which class I am playing in the background. And finally, one more thing to stress is that every class can solo all solo content in the game, and even if you are skilled with your class or decently geared, every class can often solo more challenging content such as landscape quests intended for 3 or even 6 players and sometimes group dungeons. Of course, as we'll get to, some classes can solo group content better than others. So as we look at the classes, I'll evaluate them one on general speed, damage, and traveling capabilities, then general conveniences they might offer, and finally, self-sustain is going to be important with survivability and healing.
Uh-oh.
In alphabetical order, we start with the Bear.
Why is this Weaver on me?
Quite the banger to start out with. The Bear Warning has great damage,
great
survivability, and they even have amazing self-sustain with great heals. Despite being a class with unique systems of skin changing into a bear, which is quite exciting, and they also have Wrath, it's actually, in my experience at least, relatively easy to pick up gameplay, and they don't really have the skill bloat that some other classes have. And for Bear Warning specializations, it is pretty straightforward. The red line will offer the most damage and speed while playing solo, while the blue line has great survivability and some moderate AoE damage potential, good for rounding up a whole bunch of mobs. And then the yellow line has some great healing. Of course, that's best utilized in a group, but for solo it still can be useful and has somewhat decent damage to go along with it. Now, for soloing challenging content that is too difficult for the speed of the red line, both the blue and yellow line are really great options, even if a little bit slower. Now, as far as traveling goes, the Bear Warning does have some strengths there. They have a travel skill that gives them 62% movement speed, which is almost matching typical mount speeds, and even surpasses some of the slower.
Wow, maybe I'll just go Bjorning then.
Mounts in the game, and this is going to be the fastest out of combat passive travel buff that any class has in the game. Also, because the Bear Warning race and class are kind of packaged as one as an exclusive package, the racial trait to travel to Bear Warning Hoost is going to be quite convenient, especially because you can quickly swift travel directly to Bree. That's going to be South Bree, which is perhaps the mainest of main hubs in Lotro. So really, there aren't many downsides with the Bear Warning, and honestly, one of the main downsides is they just don't have as many travel abilities as Hunter or Warden, which we'll get to those classes later and why they're a bit better at that with porting around Middle Earth. The latest class to the Lord of the Rings Online is the Brawler. As a note, this is the one class in the game that you still need to purchase with either the Goonabad expansion in the Lotro market, so outside of the game, or on its own through the Lotro store, which is the in-game store. But being so new, the Brawler has honestly been going through a bit of rapid balancing since its launch, so things may change quickly with this class as a note, but in general what it's going to offer is decent damage with some great burst damage potential, which is always nice on landscape, and especially that's true in that it's DPS redline, and then it has some moderate survivability overall, and that's of course improved in its tanking blue line. Now the Brawler's a little bit weird in that it only really has 2 real specs. It does have the 3rd trait tree like all other classes, but those are just supplemental traits. Anyway, getting back on topic, the balancing lately has been trending towards improving, buffing the Brawler, impacting both its group and solo experience with improved damage and self-sustain. For traveling, that is where the Brawler does not really offer much. They can get up to plus 15% run speed in the yellow line, but otherwise they don't have anything else. On top of that, they are a melee class, so...
Quest accepted. Calling in the reserves.
I need you to do me a favor.
Quest
I have
accepted.
a lad by
Harpies
the
threatened.
name of Grish Longrunner, protecting the Great Lift in the Southern Barrens. Give him this letter. The letter will let him know that I have a reserve warrior coming to relieve him of duty so that he can visit his family. He requested this some time ago, and he would be happy to hear the news. Tauren take pride as the protector of these lands. Undoubtedly, you can guess why I am alarmed with the number of harpies that dwell here in Stonetalon. The Blood Furies are the source of the increasing number of harpies in Kalimdor. They encroach upon all likes of life, preventing the innocent from leaving their boundaries. I need you to cull the harpies, adventurer.
Industrial greed and continuous war have wrecked the lands of Stonetalon. Only the blessings of the Earth Mother can cure such injury. Adventurer, I will require you to seek a special seed, the Gaia seed. They are only found here in Stonetalon Mountain, north of Sunrock Retreat at Merkfallen Lake near the water's edge. Once you bring me the seeds, I will imbue them with shamanistic power to speed their growth.
Accepted. Trouble in the deeps. Quest accepted. Elemental war.
Stonetalon Mountain has many perilous caves throughout this region. Exploring these caves can hold many adventures for those willing to risk life for glory. Adventurer, perhaps you seek riches that only following your heart and soul can garnish. Something is amiss here in Stonetalon. Can you feel the tension in the air, adventurer? Southeast of here lies a deep cave in Boulder Slide Ravine. The kobolds there are frantically mining a rare crystal called resonite. I need you to bring back some ore samples so that I can understand what's happening in that cave. I also need you to investigate the depth of that cave. Go, young adventurer. It's imperative I know what evil lurks under these mountains.
Angmar. Oh, VIP required, huh? Well, I am going to do a 1 month. I'm going to do a 1 month because I've only got about like 15 days. I'm going to do a 1 month to Lotro, but I'm not going to do this until I wake up tomorrow. It's good to know I'm all set up to do Lotro when I log on, and that'll be something I can focus on while I grind hardcore endlessly. We'll do some more grinding
they
here.
do have one like moderate range ability, but you just have to do a little bit
well,
more.
no, because I may have a session. I don't know. No, I'm gonna log here. It's been 14 hours and 15 minutes. I think it's been long enough. We'll stop here and we'll get rested, and then I'll have like hopefully 2 bubbles to get to 24 tomorrow. I'm gonna send stuff off to the bank. We'll watch his video while I do all my transfer stuff here.
But that's something that's true of every melee class, really. And the other downside with the Brawler is going to be a lack of consistent self-heals, especially if you're looking to solo the difficult content type stuff. They do have decent cooldown heals nowadays, especially if you do play Blue Line, but for regular consistent self-healing in combat, it's just not quite there. So downsides aside, the Brawler is the only class in the game where you can go around Middle-earth punching enemies. In my experience, their solo gameplay is actually fairly fluid, surprisingly. And I say surprisingly because in my experience, the group gameplay really isn't that fluid because you have tons of cooldown abilities on the Brawler and managing them solo is a lot easier. So as I mentioned, Brawlers have tons of combat buffs on short to long cooldowns, and they are just really easy to use between pools while solo. And this really allows you to get the most out of them and start combat with great burst damage. So overall, the Brawler's not really a bad choice for solo game.
I think I will go Hobbit, Minstrel, and he. Well, I want to be able to heal if I ever do any group content at all, and I think they kind of force you to. Is there hirelings in Lotro? Okay, so yeah, there is no group thing in this. So there is no healing. I'm looking for highest damage, run speed. So I guess I'm going Baeorning. Yeah.
Just in my experience, I wouldn't rate them the best in terms of like speed, damage, convenience, and self-sustain, but again, overall not bad. You may think that burglars are a bad solo class because you never see any around, but that's just because they are all in stealth mode, which is honestly both a pro and a con for burglars while playing solo. They are traditionally seen as a slow-paced class that sneaks into quest camps and they just like get the objective and then head out. But in modern day Lotro, they offer great damage and can pretty safely just like plow through a questing camp just as other high DPS melee classes do. On top of that, they have plenty of utility with like lots of crowd control to survive through tough encounters. For their specs, the blue line offers moderate damage with actually pretty decent self-healing, while the red line tends to offer the most damage and great burst damage to eliminate mobs right at the start of combat like they kinda never existed in the first place. And then finally, the yellow line is going to be best served for group contents, but might be able to, depending on the situation, at least give you an edge in tougher content. Now, there is a reason burglars are seen as slow, and that is because that is exactly their downside. Burglars offer no movement speed boost, and on top of that, they have no travel options for conveniently going around Middle-earth.
I think I might have to do Baeorning, but that's probably what they want you to do.
Now, for solo gameplay, I think the burglar is ultimately going to be aimed at somebody who's really into their class fantasy, with like stealth, tons of utility tools, and very fast-paced combat and one-shotting mobs, and you can even like quickly deal with small groups of high health enemies and just almost eliminate them like an assassin type class. The class that is designed for group content to support allies through tanking, buffs, and healing. How does the captain hold up for solo gameplay? Well, it does hold up, but very slowly. In my experience, the captain is the slowest class for solo gameplay. What it does offer, however, is a unique experience because they have their hero pet type companions, And they also have a pretty safe solo experience due to their survivability and self-heals, especially that's true if you're in the healing or especially the tank spec, actually. Now for their other spec, that is going to be the Breadline, which of course offers the most damage, but it still won't be amazing compared to all the other classes in the game, especially starting around mid-levels. I actually do have to admit the low-level gameplay experience on the Captain, it's not really representative of how it plays at high levels. They're surprisingly strong, like level 5 to 10. But anyway, outside of that, we do have to look at traveling, and Captains, they do have a movement speed boost on cooldown, and otherwise don't really have anything, so they're not the best at that either. So for me personally, the worst thing about the Captain playing it solo at least is you miss out on so much of what the class offers when playing in a group, because it really is designed around being in a group and supporting your allies. Many of your abilities give some form of support, which your allies get the most out of, not you as a captain, and you just really just lose out on all that potential when playing a captain solo. That said, if you really do like the class fantasy and you like having a herald follow you around maybe, and you can get past the slowness, the captain might just be for you.
Auction created.
The next class is one of the powerhouses in terms of damage. Champions have really high single target damage in the red line, or really high AoE damage in the yellow line. Of course, at high levels you can start mixing and matching a little bit at least.
Auction created.
Champions also do have decent survivability and self-heals in the blue line
Auction
to
created.
solo tougher content. And
Auction
even
created.
in the other specs and the DPS specs, their self-heals have become better as of late with some somewhat recent balancing the past couple years. Now, due to the champion's straightforward gameplay kit, it's a very easy class to recommend for beginners that just want to like mow through mobs with relative ease. The main downside of the champion is that it only has a cooldown movement speed boost for travel. They do have a ranged weapon for pulling enemies, but otherwise it's really a true melee class. And yeah, that is all there really is to the champion. I think the few words I have for it speaks to its like easy to pick up gameplay, but I hope it really doesn't take away from how strong of a melee class the champion is for solo gameplay. Once a competitor for the slowest class in the game is basically only a tank, the Guardian now offers moderate pace for solo gameplay. The red line gives the fastest experience as a DPS spec and certainly is strong nowadays. There is great potential actually in one-shotting mobs, and they have surprisingly quick attacks with things like Sting that offer a quick pace in combat and questing in general. The downside of the red line is going to be a lack of burst AoE damage that some other classes such as the champion might offer, and their bleed theme doesn't really shine through in solo gameplay. As a note, a recent update really nerfed the AoE potential of the yellow line spec, but they still have decent AoE in the yellow line and good survivability in that spec. For even more survivability for soloing difficult or group content, the blue line is probably your best bet, but it is going to be the slowest out of the three specs. So the Guardian has slightly better travel than the Champion and Captain with a very fast movement speed buff on a relatively short cooldown, but what does the Guardian really offer over Champion other than like a totally different gameplay kit? Well, it's going to be defenses. Guardian is going to be lower damage than the Champion, especially in AoE burst damage as I mentioned, but it has all around more survivability, so that's really what you get out of the Guardian.
Auction created.
She must have heard Hunter and thought we were talking about the class in World of Warcraft that has pets. The Hunter in the Lord of the Rings Online does not have pets, but it is the class that I see most recommended for both beginners and solo gameplay. And that is actually for good reason, because the Hunter is our first range class and they have great range damage, surprisingly good self-healing on top of utility and crowd control for survival, and they are one of the best traveling classes in the game with ports all around major cities in Middle-earth.
Oh, Hunter gets ports? Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe I better do Hunter, huh?
So the red line is going to typically output the most damage and has like great burst damage for solo gameplay, but the blue line spec offers great mobility because you can cast your abilities while moving, a great benefit for that. So for some players, this will give the blue line an edge in solo gameplay because you can kite enemies and even solo tougher content in the game while self-healing and kiting at the same time, as we see in the gameplay here. The yellow line now is going to typically be seen as the weakest of the three specs, but it can be a fun alternative that can be useful in soloing difficult content, especially when there are a large number of tough mobs. Even with the 3 specs and their intricacies, the Hunter is fairly beginner-friendly with its gameplay kit as well. So now that we have covered gameplay, back to traveling. So compared to Wardens, who we will get to later, they do have similar travel skills as the Hunter. The Hunter is going to offer a couple extra very convenient ports available to them, and you can even get a skill to bind a campfire as a port. And not too relevant.
Bind a campfire as a port.
For solo gameplay, the Hunter ports can actually port Fellowship members with them. And
wow, so yeah, maybe I'll probably just run Hunter then.
They also
I
have
like
a nice
Hunter in this game, and I think it actually auto shots too, which is
toggleable out of combat run speed buff to just top it all off so they can run fast through Middle Earth. And really, there's just not much to dislike about solo gameplay on a Hunter. But their one downside, their one weakness, that is going to be that they're just relatively squishy. They are a medium armored class, and it can be kind of tough to solo content when kiting just doesn't quite work. Some other classes, such as the Baegon that we have already covered, they will have a much easier time soloing group instances compared to the Hunter. Now, it's good news for my cat because the Lore Master, that is going to be a pet class, so it's a bit of an odd class for solo gameplay in my experience, and that's largely because of their pet and its strength as you level. And then their abilities also are going to be a mix of low damage and short cooldown, and
wait, there's a pet class?
Very high damage, long cooldown abilities. And with the recent rework, I will say the damage feels a bit more consistent between multiple fights, but it may still feel a bit odd-paced compared to other classes where sometimes you can have a large AoE just one-shot a whole camp of mobs, or it can take a long while to defeat just a single enemy. Lore Masters are also going to be quite squishy, and besides their pet, they don't really get good survivability skills until Water Lore at level 77, which is really getting up there in terms of level. Now, as far as pets go, the bear is going to be a decent tank. It's mainly used to taunt enemies, but it becomes squishy at high levels like the other Lore Master pets. The Bog Guardian offers great damage at low levels. The feline pets start off with pretty decent damage, and then the Crow is mainly going to be used with debuffs, while the Eagle is going to be good for a self-res if necessary. Overall, the pets will actually outshine the LM at the low levels because they just do really high damage at low levels, until it seems like around the mid-20s to around level 30, the Lore Master will start doing enough damage to start feeling impactful at that point at least. And then at high levels, that's where pets
I'm going Lore Master, but I don't know how's the
they
travel.
Just, like, stop scaling well at all, and they start doing very little damage and are mainly going to be used for their debuffs or specific effects such as Bear's Taunts. If you are curious about the level that the pets really stop scaling all that well, I've noticed it around level mid-50s to 60 on the Lore Master that the pets are just significantly weaker than they were even just 20-30 levels before that, and then they really stop scaling around level 100, 105 plus. That's where it's going to be even more significant.
But it's got problems.
Weak the pets are besides their specific effects. Just as a note. For the Lore Master specializations, the blue line does not really offer much after the low levels, that is, until you can get the new Murder of Crows trait, which gives you one of the strongest abilities in the entire game that can take out, like, it can allow you to take out some very challenging mobs. And as we see in the background here, the single ability, just that one ability, can take out a full elite 3-man instance boss mob on its own here. But back on topic, with the blue line, outside of low levels, and if you don't really want the Murder of Crows ability, the red line will offer the most explosive experience, and it will have a lot of damage to go with it. Overall, with some smart pet utilization and focusing on debuffs, the Lore Master can be pretty good at soloing group content, but this is also going to be greatly aided by that Water Lore ability, your self-heal ability, starting at level 77. And this is going to be one area where the group-focused Yellow Line spec can help, but it will be a very slow experience, especially compared to, well, Blue or Yellow Line, really. And then, like a few other classes, the Lore Master is not always going to be the strongest, but it has a really unique solo gameplay experience and is the only class in the game with animal pets. And all the while, you can...
I'm going Lore Master. I'm going Lore Master.
Roleplay as a Gandalf-like wizard.
Yeah, but you didn't talk about travel
Not unlike the Guardian, the Minstrel used to only be useful for its healing capabilities, but nowadays, minis pack quite the punch with their music and shouts. Their gameplay is similar to the Blue Line Hunter, but with more AoE potential, and while they are squishier than Blue Line Hunter, they overall will offer more self-healing capability. All of their damaging abilities can be used while moving, allowing them to kite, and they have quite the fast pace in combat. Travel-wise, unfortunately a downside of Minstrel is they just have nothing. Now the other main downside playing a mini solo is they are light armor, as I mentioned, and relatively squishy. Their self-heals and defenses just don't quite hold up for soloing group content, especially when you cannot kite reliably. Now, as far as specs go, the red line is the DPS spec and pretty much the standard for solo minstrel gameplay. The blue line is for healing, and the yellow line might give you a little bit of a better chance in soloing difficult content depending on the situation, but in my experience, usually red is better with its high damage anyway. So overall, the minstrel provides a unique gameplay experience like basically all the classes in Lotro, and does so while having some great solo potential. Just know that traveling will not be as easy as other classes. We really are on a streak with tactical classes here. We have the Runekeeper, which is a solid choice for solo gameplay. While like other tactical classes, the very low levels can be slow and low damage, but that's a bit deceiving because they develop into what is kind of like the light armor counterpart to the Hunter when soloing, because they have high damage and some actually pretty good self-healing, and they even have a bit of utility and crowd control to top it all off. For the Runekeeper specs, we have the yellow line, which is going to be mobile with instant cast abilities and a decent bit of AoE and some extra crowd control. Typically, players use the yellow line lightning spec for solo, but the red line...
This was a good video. Thank you so much, Louis7. I'd like to sub to your channel. It was very educational. I will come back to this this afternoon when I wake up. This session is ending, guys. It has been 14 hours and 33 minutes, and I've been working pretty hard here. And when I wake up, I'm going to go walking and stuff, unless the weather may not suffice today, actually. I'm not sure. But in any event, I'm going to go walking today, and then I will be on to play for 14 hours, and I love you guys. Thank you. Are you
actually awake still?
Oh, Jesus Christ, Baegon, you fucking scared the shit out of me. No, I literally just shut off all my games and I'm going to bed. I just got to 15 hours. I'm sorry.
You stay up too much.
I stay up 14 hours every day. Have for the last 3 years and 2 months, something. 360 days a year. Something like that.
Yeah, but you can adjust when you sleep to be normal times.
I have not been able to do that since I was 13 years old. I hate to do this, buddy, but I am going to bed. Are you now? Did you want to play today, or you have a D&D game, don't you?
Yeah, I have a D&D game tonight, so I'm going to be occupied later in the day.
Okay, so I don't see you today. Okay, I'm sorry, buddy, but
yeah, probably not.
Yeah, so, but do we play tomorrow?
We could see. I don't want to make any promises.
Okay. Right on. Well, I'm terribly sorry to bail on you, buddy, but, you know, that's my schedule.
That's fine. You should just get a healthier sleep schedule.
That's not going to happen, buddy. It's been 27 years. You know? Yeah.
I didn't eat meat for 18 years, and I was able to change that in a day.
I'm working on it. But for instance, today I'll be up at probably like 1, you know, and that's okay. It's better than 9, which is what it'll be probably by like, I don't know, Sunday.
Yeah, that's fine. It's tough right now because the sun doesn't come up until way the fuck late.
Yeah.
Alright, go have fun being a vampire.
Alright, buddy. Have an excellent day, huh? Can't find my Discord. Because you hide. There we go. So, sorry, I got distracted there. Twitch, no, I'm sorry, I'm looking for my website. So, thank you so much, guys. You've been watching Skycat Live. I'm a full-time variety gamer all day, every day. Put me on in the background. Come and click on the cast face to donate, or the Twitch, or the YouTube. And just a reminder, this 14-hour and 35-minute session will be placed on my channel right now as I go to bed, and it will be up over the next day. And come to my YouTube channel. I've got thousands of videos there, as you can see here, and getting a lot of likes and follows and stuff lately. It's good to see. So on that note, I am going to go to bed, and I'm going to sleep, and then go walking, and then I'll be up at the latest by 4 p.m. I'm shooting for like hopefully 2, something like 1 or 2. So yeah, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I really enjoyed playing with you and all the stuff. What did we do today? We did a DDO session with Baegon. We got a lot of FFXI Horizon all the way to level 13. Got made about 100 million on EvE, and I only lost about 15, so I made my dollar out of 15 cents like I'm supposed to in consensual. And we kicked some ass on DDO and got like at least a level, I think, like a level. And I redid my DDO UI, and then I did hardcore level 19 to 24, and that's all I have for you guys. Or I'm sorry, 22, excuse me, 23. I know what it is. I'm like two bars from 24. So there it is. I'm going to bed, and I'll see you guys in about 10 hours. I love you guys. Thank you so much for your day. You have an excellent day. Take care. Bye. Oops, GitHub, I don't know. Yeah, sure. No, yeah, sure. I am going to stop the video here.